Sorry. My senior year of high school, every Friday in history class, we had Current Events Friday. It was a game show where two teams would face off answering questions about current events in 1986. And since I have always been interested in both politics and in current events, my team did pretty well. I didn't answer all the questions, but I answered a lot of them because a lot of people just didn't care. So, final week, my team is in the championship. Sorry, the team that I was on was in the championship against another team. And we come down to the last question. Both teams are tied. And so the teacher reads the last question, and it had to do with Congress passing the Comprehensive Anti-Apartheid Act. And which nation was it directed to? I rang in with full confidence, knowing that my name is about to be emblazoned on some plaque on some wall for all time. I look at him and I say, South America. Teacher looks at me with that, you're done, kind of response, and the other team is banging the table as hard as they can, trying to ring in, and calls on them, and they, of course, say South Africa. I felt so stupid. My team's looking at me like I let them down, and I did. No name in lights, no plaque for all of perpetuity, and I hate to be wrong. All of us hate to be wrong. None of us aspires to be wrong. And we especially don't want to be wrong in something that's important, in something like politics. None of us likes to be wrong. Politics has changed in that more people are voicing their opinions in a way that can be heard. Social media is great if you want to hear what people's politics are, and bad if you want to actually have a rational discussion about politics. So at Thompson Road since September, we've been talking about how to approach life through the lens of the gospel. The gospel, of course, being the good news of Jesus Christ. And if you don't know what that means that the Father, that God, desires a relationship with us. He desires to have us not just be something He's created, but for us to actually be heirs. Heirs of the kingdom that's coming, that sets aside all politics and COVID and everything else for all of eternity. And He did that by providing a sacrifice, a go-between, so that we can have a right relationship with Him, and that was His Son. And that's what the cross is all about. He died so that we may live. And it's a living for eternity. That's our great hope, but also for today, that He provides us with peace and hope in something far greater than any governmental system. So how do we think about that? How do we think about politics? We've talked about just the gospel and how we think. We talked the gospel and anger, the gospel and anxiety, the gospel and depression and suicide, and the gospel and oppression, just mental oppression from just life and sin and all those things that affect us. And so this Sunday we're going to talk about the gospel and politics. It's going to be fun. I'm not going to tell you how to vote, not my job. My job as pastor is to encourage you how to think biblically and how to approach a situation through the lens of the gospel, through the lens of hope in Christ. And that's the important thing. So if you'd like to tune in on Sunday morning at 10 o'clock, 10, sorry, that's when we usually start getting around to it. If you want to check in then, please do so. If you want to go and check out the previous sermons, if something in those topics really seems to kind of connect with you, you can go to trbf.org, and there's a link on our homepage to our YouTube page, which has all the sermons in order. And you can check those out and listen to them at your leisure. If you can't join us live on Sunday morning, it will be pre-recorded too as well, or recorded for you to check out. So, the gospel and politics. I have the gospel and lots of other subjects and topics coming up. Some pretty hard ones, some pretty heavy ones. I don't have a schedule just because I want to make sure they're ready before they're given to you. So, but this week is the gospel and politics. Hope to see you then.